Our next storyteller, Kal Spelletich. Coming way back. We'll do this announcement style.
Hi. Spelletich. Weird Croatian name. WPA building. We need another WPA, right? A lot of people need work. And support your local occupier. Okay, I'm not a storyteller or a writer, so I wrote my story down. It's a true story.
You can't read your story. You have to tell your story like you told the students.
Can I use reference notes?
No, only 75-year-olds can use reference notes, but
Should we vote? Let's vote on it.
Okay, let me just say, we've been doing the storytelling series for 10 years. The rules are you just talk to people like you talked to me at the cafe when we met and you told me this story. Okay, just hand it to me. All right.
This is never going to work. All my punchlines. Okay, 1 year ago, exactly this month, I got a very exciting email to go to India to teach and do a show. The dilemma was the show was in 6 weeks. So after 2 weeks of frantic emailing back and forth, they kind of wouldn't commit. And I thought, God, what's wrong with these people? Why can't I translate, or why can't they figure this gig out? Anyway, I gave them 2 days to give me an airplane ticket, or I had to cancel the gig because I couldn't disappear from my life for 5 weeks without a little leeway. In 2 days, they got me a ticket. And in a month, I was walking down the street in Chennai, India. Chennai is one part 1960s Detroit, one part 1960s Pittsburgh, and one part contemporary New Delhi. If that means anything. I felt right at home, having grown up in the Midwest. Midwest, I felt Midwest. So, I get to the lab, the tech lab, who are sponsoring me, and the place is the size of the International Harvester factory I worked in when I was 18 years old. We had 3,000 workers there. I was the United Auto Workers, and we made combines and tractors. So I thought, I can make my stuff here. They had tools from here to heaven. So immediately I was like, what tools can I use? Where's my workshop? They showed me my workshop. They showed me my parts that they had procured for me. I had sent them meticulous notes and photos of parts I needed. They showed me a pile of rusty scrap metal and a few old student projects. I proceeded to meet the faculty, one after another, brilliant, genius people. I'm at the India Institute of Technology, India's version of MIT. I can't believe you won't let me use my... And so I start talking to the faculty. Hey, I want to build these machines and robots. There's going to be some pyrotechnics. They're all audience interactive. And the faculty start doing this. I was like, I don't know, this and this. I can't translate this. I've never heard of an Indian head bobble. It turns out, I think my translation is maybe. I go through 6 different faculty members trying to get someone to let me use their workshop. One guy kind of finally says, okay, maybe. Mr. Go, why, yes, Mr. Kal. Oh, Mr. Kal, maybe we can do this. And I was like, cool, all right, someone I can work with. And so I was like, okay, I need this piece bored out, this flange welded onto it, 4 holes for the bearing, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I could do that in a few hours in my shop. I didn't tell him that, but I thought in my head. So I give him the parts and the specs, and I go back to my crappy student shop that they've given me, where all the tools are broken. So I spend essentially the next week teaching the students to weld, to do some basic machine fabrication, They have some sensors, some sound and movement proximity sensors we can hook up to the robots I'm going to build. And I wait for a week for this guy to build me this thing I can do in 3 hours. Finally I go back, I was like, hey, how's that project coming along? He's like, oh yes, right away, Mr. Kal, you'll do this right away. So I go back, I ask the students, what's this mean? I don't know what I'm talking about. And I go back to the guy again. The third time, I was like, hey, how's that piece coming along? Oh, right away, Mr. Kal. I was like, what does right away mean? And he kind of doesn't know what I mean by that. Turns out right away, I think, means 5-ish days. So I have a meeting with everybody. I was like, I need to understand language. Because if it's 5 days, I only have a month. Actually, I have 3 weeks. And we've already used up a week. But I've taught the kids a lot of, I've empowered them. And they're like building stuff that I can't really use, but they're building stuff. It's kind of exciting. And so then we start sojourns into the city. Because I would send the students in for parts, but they would just come back with the wrong stuff every time. And I started feeling really bad wasting money in India. And most of the students were really broke. They were geniuses. They are going to take over the planet. They're used to living with nothing, and so if they get the littlest thing, they're stoked. And much like the gig I did in Africa, these people are so humble, so strong, and you can tell they're going to eat us for a snack. Really soon. So, where are we without my notes? I go do these sojourns into the city. I go to parts place after parts place after parts place. And it turns out I'm in southern India. Everyone who sells hardware is an Islamist fundamentalist. And the white cracker-ass me walks in there asking for bearings and bushings and chain sprockets and pulleys, and they would turn on their heel and walk out of the shop to some back room. At first I thought they were going to get parts. Finally I find a guy who will do it, and he will get me parts. Or his son would run out and find me the parts. So I'd have to sit in his shop for like an hour each time. And the third time I was there, he starts preaching to me about America and how bad we are. And I go, look dude, I know we're the exporters of terror. We got all the bombs and we're fucking up the planet. And suddenly we're bros. And then the more times I come there, he starts getting kind of afraid of me. And I really thought maybe I was FBI or special ops or something. Because over the preceding month, I started getting, first I'm sunburned, then I'm tanned, and I'm slowly coming in with burn marks and the stuff that happens in a workshop, especially a crummy workshop. I'm all cut up and pretty beat up after a few weeks. But the guy's giving me the gear. And I'm slowly getting more rupees out of the faculty as they realize I am starting to build stuff. By the third week, we get 2 flamethrowers built and a joined-up version of those wind-up toys that are bears that clap. It's like 8 feet tall, and we have a poof of fire come out so the cymbals can smack the flame. So, these are quite loud though when we test them, and the students flip out. Because I kind of would show them how to make stuff, and then they felt like they made it. And they did, I guess. And so within 3 days, we had used up my entire allotment of fuel for these flamethrowers that were supposed to last me a month, because the students could not run these things. By this time, the police know me by name, let alone the campus police. The city police have now come onto the campus, which is actually a national park. And it's a former British hunters' property. And when the Indians kicked the Brits out, they seized this guy's property and they turned it into a national park because it was full of these wild animals that you'd hunt. And anyway, why am I saying that? Because the monkeys would come into the shop and try and steal my food and water. And there were bats the size of eagles at night. The first time I'm walking down the street at night, literally the first time I was like, there's UFOs or something. And then they had herds of these ibex. Anyway. He's a little disoriented. So, what happens? We get some stuff built, then more rupees come all of a sudden. And then the faculty guy finally builds me this piece, because I think they thought I was this crackpot who was, I don't know, wasting their time. And so the faculty guy helps me. We build some more stuff. We get 3 or 4 more machines built. And one day I'm walking across campus with the students, and they go, "Oh, Cal, here's where your show's going to be." I thought, my show? I thought I was just doing something in the student lab. And we walk up this little ridge and down into what looked like an ancient Greek amphitheater in the round. And we go down, we all run down in the middle of it, and I was like, oh my God, this is bigger than the war field. Maybe 4,000 or 5,000 people can fit in this. I go, how many people will come, do you guys think? They're like, oh, it'll be overflowing, it'll be packed. Yeah, guys, we gotta up our game. We need to build more stuff. Come on. And I kind of panicked. And I was like, I was just kind of coasting along here, but trying to push them. So I became kind of a real bitch. And I started, tyrant, ugly American guy. I need more money, I need more help. And they gave me more help. They gave me more rupees. More epic adventures into the city to see my Islamist park stealer. And comes the day of the show. And I feel like a teenager. I'm all excited. And I got this pack. At this point, I have a pack of students helping me. An army of little minions. And I've shown them everything I've made. I've shown them every step of the way. And we hauled all the stuff into the theater, and we're setting up in the middle, and we're testing the flamethrowers, and it's really loud. I mean, you can hear it off campus, and the campus, it's a mile just to get off campus in the city. And the military show up. And I forgot that India has 3 fronts of war going on at all times. Not that they want this, but it's a militarized state. And I had noticed that when I was running around the city, you know, smart car, ox cart, dude on iPhone, family living in gutter, military, everywhere. And that was pretty much what it was like, at least in the city. We were down near the Tamil region, with the Tamil Tigers have been staging an insurrection for a while. So military's like, no way, you're not doing this. And I go, man, the university invited me. I'm a college professor, and I'm here with the school. And at that point, everyone started coming by the workshop, because then the media started coming from the explosions, and I did all these interviews. And I met the U.S. ambassador. I said, U.S. ambassadors on my side, blah, blah, you guys need to get off the set. It's very dangerous. And the military has never been bossed around, let alone the faculty, who I was starting to push around for more rupees. And the students are super into this. Because not that they're docile, but they've just never seen people stand up to there's a hierarchy there, and they're very respectful of it. And I was breaking that hierarchy down, I guess. I was like, you military guys, get off the set. It's very dangerous. You can get hurt. You can die. I cannot be responsible for you. Kind of just, oh my God, this is never going to work. So they don't get very far off the set, but there's lines of them, and they're like up against the edge of the set. The amphitheater fills and then overflows, and I don't know how many thousands of people show up. We have 4 flamethrowers. We have the simple clapping, walking teddy bear machine. What else did we make? Oh, we built a fire inferno tornado you can stand in the middle of. And then we built a hugging machine that'll lift you up off the ground. And so we've been running these. Really, we got most of that finished the last week when my army of minions finally believed in me and showed up. And so we hadn't run all of them that much. There's always that mystery part. Adam knows it, like, is this going to work or is it going to kill someone? But I didn't know I was leaving the next day. Assuming I didn't get held after the show. Anyway, we really stoked. We're DJing. We found these lasers on campus. We're playing with the lasers while the place is filling up. We have fog machines going, which we also support on campus. And the kids are playing really great Indian pop music, and I'm throwing in Herb Albert a little bit on the side as we all DJ. And bum 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 bum. The head of the department, the art and technology department, comes up and does this really amazing, humbling introduction for me and all the students and how hard we worked and blah, 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 and everything that went down the past month. And then at the end he said, and now they're going to exhibit all that work they made and showed, and we're so happy everyone could come here on this national holiday, Gandhi Day.